adventure, you can unlock Curly mode, which lets you play as Curly in the main story. Besides the gender swap, though, there's no other difference, but it's also the only time where you can actually hear the main character speak. Oh, his name is Quote. Wait, Curly brace and Quote? Oh, I see. If you're playing the Wii version, Curly mode is unlocked from the start, as well as boss attack and a time attack move for the Bloodstained Sanctuary. Notwithstanding the obnoxious difficulty spike at the end when going for the best ending, I can still easily recommend something like Cave Story. Yeah, it's short. Yeah, you can probably find Meteor games for around the same price, and yes, the last part is bullshit, but I still had a really enjoyable time playing it. Since I began playing it earlier last week, I've completed the game around 5 times, once on the original PC release, once on the 3DS eShop version, and 3 times on the Wii version. That's including a run-through in Curly mode. Look at that cute smile when she's obliterating that monster. If you're not sure if this game is right for you, download the freeware version of the game. I believe it has controller support, and even if it doesn't, the keyboard controls are perfectly fine. If you liked what you played, please, I implore you to invest in a retail version and show some support. All the retail versions also have difficulty options, so you can adjust the difficulty to your liking for an easier experience or a hellish experience. I think I might just purchase the 3D version of the game on the 3DS because why not? I liked what I played here, so why not own a graphically enhanced version of it? Hey, I already own like 20 copies of Sonic 1, this is nothing new to me. Okay guys, for next week, I'm actually going to be taking the week off, seeing as I have an event to attend to that I need to get ready for. I'm not exactly done with indie games just yet. I have a few titles to review before heading into the likes of Minecraft. In the meantime, I hope you guys can find some enjoyment with the Let's Play channel and Brain Scratch commentaries. I might even do a little live stream before heading off to Pittsburgh. But in the meantime, thank you guys for watching. You guys have a great night, and take care. Times, but I had my phone for $15. I'll play this again later.
You gotta say anything about the graphics and such?
The art style's nice. It makes for some good scenery that simultaneously pops up and is easy on the eyes. I can't help but think of games like StarCraft or League of Legends though when I look at it.
Do you even play those games?
No, I'm just saying that in terms of looks, that's what it reminds me of. Are you gonna leave anytime soon? I have things to work on.
John, who are you talking to?
I don't know.
Is it the Tails doll?
Are you the Tails doll?
No.
It's not the Tails doll, Elliot.
Okay.
So, we're all good here. You really like the game?
Yeah, it's fine. It's not perfect, but it's earned its price tag, I think. You ever had one of those games which you couldn't exactly describe your overall experience with? I consider Bastion to be one of those titles. I had a good time, but I can't really go beyond that. I didn't want to put it down, but at the same time, I couldn't get really into it. You get what I'm saying?
So I'm guessing that's the reason you hired me to narrate this, huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
When do I get my check?
You get it when you leave. Anyway, guys, I have one more game to look at before I head into the world of Minecraft. The next game coming up is another title that a lot of you wanted me to look at, so I'll see you guys next time with Dust and Elysian Tale.
You are paying me, right?
Of course I am. Elliot!
Yeah?
You go outside and give me some rocks? Anyway, guys, I have one more game to look at before heading into the world of Minecraft. The next title coming up is up. Not if Jerry the motorcyclist has anything to say. Hold on there, bitch. Not if Hell's Angels has anything to say. Soundtrack at all during the review. Believe me when I say this, guys, it's not because I didn't find it enjoyable. I honestly just forgot to talk about it. To be frank, it didn't leave that much of an impact on me in the first place, but I loved the battle theme that played in certain areas, Terminal March. I don't consider Dust's soundtrack to be much better, but I did notice it more here than I did in Bastion, but I don't consider that the game's fault. That's just my taste in music preferring one to the other. Anyway, while I find Dust artistically pleasing, there were times where I lost myself in the chaos that can ensue when you're hacking and slashing a huge swarm of enemies. I nearly died about 3 times because I didn't pay enough attention to my health bar, which is sort of hard to notice amidst all the beautiful scenery and action. Secondly, and this may be a bit controversial, but I'm also not a big fan of the character designs in this game. I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me. I mean, it's simple and easy on the eyes, but there's something inside me saying that it's too simple. And personally, I can't stand Dust's color scheme. It looks like he's fighting in his fucking pajamas. Still, that doesn't change the fact that I enjoyed this game, and after completing it, I didn't care that I ended up buying the game twice anymore. Out of all the indie titles I've played so far for this channel, this one is definitely up there as one of my favorites. The story may not be very interesting, in fact I stopped paying attention to it about 3 hours in, and it can use more variety in a few areas, but it's still loads of fun because of the solid action and artistic value the game is jam-packed with. If you have a spare $15 and like this sort of thing to begin with, you should definitely give this game a try. At the very least, download the demo. Ugh, the summer Steam sale. No! I don't need any of this shit! Go away! Minecraft is the next game! Minecraft! Just look at these savings!
I got a car with an app. I don't mean I shop for
Swift 11, who, as some of you may know, commissions me to make animations based on his Minecraft adventures. This guy has seen a tremendous amount of success not only thanks to Minecraft, but the things he's able to achieve with the help of his imagination and his supporters, and I'm happy for him. The amount of Minecraft merchandise I see in conventions is mind-blowing. Then again, that shouldn't really surprise me with sales figures towering over 20 million units combined. Most indie developers wish they could reach those kinds of sales figures, but if something so deceptively simple looking as Minecraft can achieve it, I'm sure it must be an inspiration to all indie developers out there. If you're going to give Minecraft a shot, it's best to go with the PC version, as it's the version that gets the most attention. I don't know how much love the Xbox Live version gets, but if so many people recommend the PC version to begin with, perhaps the answer is obvious enough. I'm sorry to all those who expected me to go really deep into this game, but the process of going deep would take a lifetime, and given what I do for this channel, in addition to making things like animations or living life in general, I think that would be simply out of the question. I bought this game in the first place to give you guys a video about it, but seeing as Minecraft is no ordinary title, this is one game I simply cannot spend a lot of time on, especially when I wasn't very interested to begin with. But that's just me though. Again, I believe if you enjoy the likes of Minecraft to begin with, it could potentially be one of the best games you've ever played. I'd like to thank you guys for introducing me to a lot of the games I reviewed for this indie showcase. If it weren't for your suggestions, I may have never experienced the likes of Braid, Super Meat Boy, Bastion, Dust, or actually finish off Cave Story. I'm very sorry I wasn't very into Minecraft, but I can tell you what I am interested in. The X Marathon, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of you probably already know what's coming out, but in case you don't, you'll find out pretty soon. With all that said, I need to go get ready, ladies and gentlemen, so you guys have a great night. Thank you for watching, and take care. Mega Man, along with the Robot Master, is different challenges to complete. You can also unlock Roll as a playable character, but she's someone you need to download utilizing the PSP's Wi-Fi feature. She also has a fuckload of costumes to choose from, which you also need to download in order to use. She smacks the shit out of enemies with a broomstick, which makes some encounters a little more challenging to deal with, but it's also pretty funny to look at. Really, the biggest problem Mega Man Powered Up suffers from is that it's on the PSP to begin with. Not to put it down or anything, I do own one after all, but the PSP suffered greatly from a lack of quality titles, assuming you weren't into the RPG genre. This is a title I seriously think needs a re-release on the PlayStation Network or something, I don't know. To me, this is the definitive version of Mega Man 1, and I think fans of this style of gameplay should show it some love. This version of the game offers so much more than the original on the NES, and it's a shame that it's on a handheld that a majority of gamers don't care about. Mega Man on the NES was critically praised when it was first released, but it ended up not selling many copies. Honestly, I couldn't tell you why. Maybe it was because the game only took 2 hours to beat, or maybe the game was too hard for some and it got a bad word of mouth as a result. Perhaps it wasn't seen as that innovative, I don't know, but this wouldn't spell the end of the series, as you can no doubt tell by the many games we have left to look at. Mega Man laid the foundation of many elements the series will continue to follow and improve upon, but the game as a whole is rather bare. It's a good challenge for those looking for it, but I don't think it offers much besides that. Now, usually when a game doesn't sell many copies, it's often deemed not worthy enough to produce a sequel for. Well, nowadays it's like that. I'm not exactly sure how game development worked back in the 1980s. And even though Mega Man 1 didn't sell many copies, Capcom still felt the need to produce a sequel for it 1 year later. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, the next time we meet, I'll see you guys with Mega Man 2 on the NES. I'll see you guys later. I also find it a bit annoying when you collect health or Whammo. This boss. Once more, Wily claims that he's not worthy to Mega Man, and Mega Man once again just leaves. Why does he keep doing that? Also, does anyone else notice this is the second time we defeated Dr. Wily with a great color scheme? I have to ask though, what exactly is he doing in this ending sequence? Am I to believe that he's taking a year-long hike across the seasons? Surely there's other ways to spend your time. Not to mention the accompanying musical piece that makes this seem somber as fuck. But what's going on here? Is Mega Man sad that he didn't arrest Dr. Wily? Does he feel alone in his crusade against evil? Well, just a few seconds later, the cheerful, optimistic credits team takes over, so I'm assuming the developers didn't want me to think too hard on that subject. Still though, I think I'm missing something here. I think it's pretty obvious at this point, but this is something I can classify as a fun game. Now, just to remind you guys, I didn't grow up with the classic series. In fact, I didn't play Mega Man 2 until the late 2000s when I finally began experimenting with some of the classic games. But even though I arrived at the game so late, the amount of fun I had playing it was a testament to how well designed it was. Yeah, the problems I mentioned earlier were things that could have been handled better, but as a whole, Mega Man 2 is a blast. The developers made this on their free time. There was an ambition when this game was made, and I think it shows. Not only does it do a much better job than Mega Man 1 in just about every way possible, but it's also the best-selling Mega Man game of all time. You want to start playing classic Mega Man games? You start here. Over 20 years later, and the game is still very fun to play. We're 2 games into the series, and we've already hit what many consider to be the high point of the series. Now, usually that's not a good sign, but who knows? With the games we have left to review, we might find another one that's just as fun, if not better, than the likes of Mega Man 2. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time with Mega Man 3 for the NES and Mega Man The Wily Wars for the Sega Genesis. See you guys next time.
Even if I don't think all the weapons are that great, the game is still challenging but never unfair, and I generally like it. The only thing that holds it back for me are the Doc Robot stages. I have had tons of playthroughs where I would beat the first 8 Robot Masters, then put in a password to skip to Wily's castle. But other than those 4 levels, and Wily forgetting to put away his E-tanks when you visit his castle, it's a good game. I can see why many consider it the best in the series. Not my favorite, or even in my top 3, but I like it a lot.
Well, that last bit felt a bit redundant, but I am glad I was able to experience this game. Uncle Man, thank you. Motherfucker! See you guys in Mega Man 4 and 5.
Oh, you will rue the day you defeated me in City Escape, Johnny. I will have my revenge. I'll be back. You'll see.
This is actually the first time I've fully completed the game for this review, so I'm curious to see how... That's what the video comes in. It's like, what's that? I like how your reaction. It's like, ninjas?
I didn't know you were going to do that. Like, looking back, I'm like, what happened?
Okay, that's the part where I get interrupted.
Yeah, I figured that out now.
Yeah.